This is the Jillian Grace Show, Vibrational Architect. I teach the discipline of redesigning the internal patterns that shape your love, your relationships, and the life you quietly know you were meant to live. Whether you're moving through familiar emotional cycles or you're a high achiever who senses there's more available to you, you're in the right place. This is where people learn to master the architecture of their lives and release the patterns holding them back from their inner blueprint. Each episode ends with a guided transmission to anchor the vibration we're working with so you can fully step into becoming the architect of your own life. Join me, Jillian Grace, as we pull back the layers and rebuild the vibration you were always meant to live from. Hello, and welcome back to the Jillian Grace Show, where we talk about identity, frequency, vibration, emotional intelligence, and the architect underneath the moments that change your life. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that most people will experience at least once in their lifetime, but almost no one has any language for. And because they don't have the language, they think that something's wrong. They think they're breaking down. They think they're losing themselves. They think they're failing. But what's actually happening is something far more powerful. What we're going to talk about today is identity death. The moment when the version of you you've been carrying, performing, protecting, or surviving through simply can't continue. It collapses. It dissolves. It stops being compatible with the frequency you're stepping into. And if you're in that space right now, or you've been in it recently, or you can feel it coming, this episode is going to give you the clarity and grounding you've been craving for. Because identity death is not a crisis, it's a frequency shift. And no one warns you how intense it can be. So let's get into it. First, the moment your old identity collapses. There's always a moment, sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's explosive, where the old identity can't hold anymore. It might look like a relationship ending, a truth you can't unsee, a boundary you finally enforce, a betrayal that snaps the thread, a realization that hits you like a lightning strike, a physical illness that changes your direction. The external event is never the real cause, it's just the trigger. The real cause is that the frequency has already shifted and your identity is trying to catch up. This is why it feels so disorienting. This is why you feel like you're floating outside your own life. This is why you can't go back, even if you desperately want the comfort you once knew. Identity collapse feels like clarity and grief at the same time, relief and terror in the same breath. The I'm finally myself and I don't know who I am coexisting. It's not a breakdown, it's a break open. And the moment it happens, your nervous system starts recognizing itself around that new frequency and starts reorganizing. That's why you feel shaky, emotionally numb, weird, exhausted, devastated, or all of the above. Your system is recalibrating. Why this happens at the frequency level. So first, identity death is not a psychological thing at first. It's not an emotional thing at first. It's not a relational thing at first. It's energetic. Your identity is built on the frequency you've been living in, the patterns you've been repeating, the roles you've been performing, the contracts you've been honoring, and the expectations you've been carrying. When your frequency rises through healing, through truth telling, through trauma resolution, or simply outgrowing your environment, your identity becomes outdated. It's like it's trying to run new software and there's an old operating system. The system crashes. This is why relationship rupture during identity shifts are very common. You suddenly don't know what you want and you don't know where you're going. Your body reacts before your mind understands. Your desires change. Your boundaries sharpen. Your intuition gets louder. Your frequency moves fast and your identity follows. Your life starts to rearrange. And if you don't understand what's happening, you can funnel into complete chaos. If you do understand what's happening, it can feel liberating. So the hidden architecture is actually the part that no one explains. Identity death is triggered by what I call an activation event. This is where the truth becomes undeniable. The pattern becomes visible. The contract expires. The illusion breaks. The old self can't survive the new awareness. Sometimes it's a slow unraveling. Sometimes it's a single sentence. Sometimes it's a moment of silence where you finally hear yourself. But underneath the activation, the event is deeper. It's within the architecture. There are subconscious contracts that you make. These contracts, usually you do them in childhood. You do them to stay safe, to stay loved, to stay accepted or invisible. The identity death happens when the contract is no longer compatible with your evolution. Sometimes you can even have ancestral or karmic links. Sometimes you're breaking patterns that didn't start with you, and the death became the moment when you refused to carry something forward. Then your nervous system goes through a recalibration. Your body literally recognizes itself around the new frequency. This is why you feel tired. This is why you feel wired for emotional numbness or you're overwhelmed. And then comes the timeline divergence. When your frequency shifts, your path shifts too. Things move quickly. Old desires dissolve. New ones emerge. It's the end of the version of what was built for a frequency you no longer live in. Now, what you do with that is your decision. Many people take that as they have to rewrite their whole history and they have to step away from everything they're doing. But I can guarantee you that becoming who you are in the environment that you're in and seeing if that's compatible with what your heart desires is always the best route to finding that peace within yourself. When you're unhappy or when you are feeling like you need that change or that awakening happens, it's never about your external environment. It's always about your internal compass. I always say happiness is not a zip code. It's a frame of mind. And that's the truth. You can move 100 times. You can meet 100 different people. You can see thousands of different faces. But until you see your own, you'll never truly understand what you want your reflection to be. And that mirror helps you through every step of the way. So identity crises don't have to become the crisis of your life. If focused properly, they become an internal awakening that can shift the world around you in a way that you never imagined. But many people don't have the strength to see that or the knowledge to understand that during the process. So how to stabilize the new identity? This is the part that people skip. They think the collapse is the transformation. It's not. The collapse is the doorway. Stabilization is the transformation. And here's how you stabilize the new identity. You stop trying to rescue the old self. You can't go back. You're not supposed to. Every attempt to return to the old identity is going to feel like self-betrayal and it's going to leave you with that empty feeling. You've got to let the grief move. Even though the old identity was limiting, it was familiar. Grief is not a sign that you made the wrong choice. It's a sign that you're human. Anchor into the new frequency. What feels true now? What feels aligned now? What feels like me now? Identity stabilizes through repetition of truth. And when you anchor that truth, and then you reflect it to the world, and you see the reactions of those around you, you'll then understand who is designed to move forward with you and who's designed to fall away. Protect your field. After identity death, your energy is porous. You're vulnerable to old patterns, old people, old dynamics, all of these different things. This is where boundaries become non-negotiable. Let the new identity reveal itself. You don't have to choose a new identity. You discover it. It emerges through new behaviors, new desires, new clarity, new standards, and new emotional response. Identity is not a performance. It's a frequency and vibration you step into and become. Then it's time to see the void in between identities. This is the place that no one talks about. It's the space that lies between. It's not the collapse. It's not yet the rebirth. It's the void. The void is the moment where nothing feels familiar. Nothing feels stable. Nothing feels like you. Nothing feels wrong, but nothing feels right either. This is the space where the old identity is gone, but the new identity hasn't fully formed. Most people panic here. They try to fill the void with the old patterns. They try to go back to the old coping mechanisms, the old roles, the old distractions, the old habits. They try to find ways of not being able to focus so that they can stay busy. Not because they want the old identity back, but because the void feels like a free fall. But the void is not a punishment. It's a neutral field where your system recalibrates. It's the energetic equivalent of a snow globe settling after being shaken. In the void, your intuition gets louder, your nervous system rewrites, your desires shift, your boundaries sharpen, your emotional body detoxes, and your spiritual body reorganizes. The void is where the new identity begins to whisper. And if you stay long enough, you will hear it. Your body's role in identity transformation. Identity death is not just emotional or spiritual, it's deeply psychological. Your body has been wired around an old identity: the way you breathe, the way you hold tension, the way you speak, the way you react, the way you protect yourself. When that identity collapses, the body has to reorganize. It has to show up. And it many times shows up as fatigue, restlessness, emotional surges, numbness, digestive changes, sleep disruption, increased sensitivity, a need for solitude. Your body, it's not malfunctioning, it's updating. Think of it like this: your old identity lived in the same muscles, it was in your posture, it was in your breath, it was in your nervous system. And then when identity dies, your body has to release all of the physical and vibrational imprints of that. That's why different practices like breath work and grounding and shaking and stretching and walking and crying and resting, these aren't coping mechanisms, they're integration mechanisms. Your body isn't behind, it's catching up. Then comes the emergence of the new identity. The identity doesn't arrive all at once. It arrives in pieces. It shows up as a new boundary you enforce without fear, a new desire that surprises you, a new level of clarity, a new emotional response, a new standard you refused to lower, a new level of self respect, a new sense of peace. The new identity is not something you decide, it's something you recognize. It feels like, oh, this is me. This is how I've always been underneath all of this. This is the version of me I was trying to get back to. The new identity is not a performance, it's a homecoming. And once it clicks into place, your life begins to reorganize around it. New opportunities happen, new creativity occurs, new intuition happens, new alignment, new timelines. All of this is the identity death that's collapsing and the emergence of a new expansion. And you're finally in the expansion now. Now, it's important to look around at everything you made before that identity collapse, because a lot of those pieces are parts that will be of great value coming with you in the future, and some of those pieces aren't. But during that collapse, when you move forward, it's going to seem like nothing fits. It's important to wait until the collapse has fully settled before you move forward with any decisions in your life that are going to be life-changing or life-altering, because chances are the outer world around you was not causing the identity shift to occur. It was your inner world trying to align with that outer world. And for many people, that outer world ends up being more true when you step out of what was blocking you. And for many people, that outer world, especially if there was love and connection, it's more in line with your truth as you step forward. And you don't even realize it until your vibration is set. For all of you out there that are in the middle of something that seems to be catastrophic in your life, I want you to know that it does shift. And whether you are the one in the middle of the identity shift or you're the one who is watching an identity shift and you're shifting yourself, I want you to know that you will align with where you're headed. In the universe, it will take care of all of those pieces. That may sound like it's new agey or doesn't make sense, but it's the vibration of life. It's something you can't escape. So as you realign, you're going to connect with everything that is aligned with that version of you. So be comfortable, take a breath, trust, and allow it to awaken, because you're headed into the world, the life, and the connection that you always deserved. Now, every single episode, I end with a final activation. All of you who've been listening know that. And that's to integrate some of the things that we talk about into your field so that you understand and you can really step into it. So I invite you to find a quiet space, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and we're ready. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose, hold it, and let it fall out of your mouth. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw unclench. Let your stomach drop. Let your spine lengthen. You don't have to perform anything right now. You don't have to hold anything. You don't have to be anything. Just be here. Just be with yourself. Now I want you to imagine the version of you that's been carrying the weight of your old identity. The version of you who held the peace, kept the family together, played the role, absorbed expectations, survived the patterns, stayed quiet to stay safe, stayed small to stay loved. See them clearly. Notice their posture. Notice the exhaustion they never admitted. Notice the strength they never got credit for. This version of you is not weak. They're not broken. They're not a mistake. They are the one who got you here. And now, their job is done. Place your hand on your heart, physically or energetically, and say to them, "Thank you for protecting me. Thank you for surviving for me. Thank you for carrying what I could not. I release you now." Feel the shift. Feel the loosening. Feel the exhale that comes from the truth. Now imagine that version of you stepping back, not disappearing, just stepping out of the driver's seat. They're tired. They're ready to rest. They're ready to be held, not to hold everything. Let them go. Let them rest. And return your attention forward. There's another view of you standing there. The one who's been waiting. The one who's been whispering. The one who's been trying to get your attention for years. This version of you is grounded, clear, powerful, emotionally honest, unshakable, deeply intuitive, unapologetically aligned. Look at them. Notice their posture, the way they stand without shrinking. Notice their eyes, the clarity, the steadiness, the knowing. Notice their energy, calm, rooted, sovereign. This is not a fantasy version of you. This is the future version of you. It's the true version of you, the one that was buried under the conditioning, the survival, and the roles you never chose. Now imagine stepping towards them. One step, another, and then another. Feel the pull as you recognize the familiarity. You're not becoming them. You are remembering them. When you reach them, imagine placing your hands on their shoulders. Feel the warmth. Feel the strength. Feel the truth. And now imagine stepping into them, like sliding into a frequency that was always yours. Feel the alignment click into place. Feel the nervous system settle. Feel the breath deepen. Feel the clarity rise. You are home. You are in the identity that matches your frequency now. Let this version of you speak. Let them say out loud or internally, "I am ready, I am aligned, I am whole, I am not returning to who I was. I am now becoming who I am. Let that settle. Let it anchor. Let it root. Now imagine a light, not above you, not outside of you, but within you. A light that expands from your chest outward, a light that fills your ribs, your spine, your throat, your belly, your legs, and your arms. A light that fills the room around you. This is your new identity stabilizing. This is your field sealing. This is your frequency anchoring. And now imagine the path in front of you, the one that matches this identity. You don't need to see the details. You don't need to know the timeline. You don't need to understand the how. Just feel the truth. The life that matches this identity is already forming around you. The people who match this identity are already moving towards you. The opportunities that match this identity are already aligning for you. The version that matches this identity is already here. Step into it. It's time. Take one more breath. In. Hold. And release. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are becoming. And this time, you're becoming on purpose. Whenever you're ready, you can take a deep breath and open your eyes. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode of The Jillian Gray Show. I want you to know if you're out there right now in the middle of an identity collapse, you are not alone and you've got this. As always, I'll chat with you next week. Let this episode settle into your system. And if someone in your life is moving through their own patterns or stepping into their next level, send this episode to them. The vibration you're integrating becomes stronger when it's shared. And if you feel called, liking the show or leaving a review helps this work to reach people who are meant to find it. I'm Jillian Grace, and I'll meet you in the next episode as we keep rebuilding the blueprint that you were always meant to live from.